What's up? This is Mayhem's first movie review. We are reviewing The Predator. I'm joined with Will. We are both on Mayhem Pictures. And yeah, the Predator. So we're not going to get into spoilers yet. We are going to talk spoilers at the end of the review. But right off the bat, like, what did you think of this movie?
The first, like, kind of half of it was pretty fun. And then, like, towards, like, the later half, I was like, okay, I don't really like this as much anymore. It was very disappointing. I was excited for this movie because it's been, like, what, 10 years since the last Predator movie?
Close to it, yeah.
And I liked that one. I think it was called Predators.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was excited for this one. I knew they were going to do practical effects and stuff with the Predator suit. Then you watch the movie and it's like, yeah, it's there for a while, and then after a little while, it's all CGI. Like,
I think we can both agree that the acting is fine. It's not. There's nobody. Yeah. Nobody's a weak link here. I do think the crew dynamic, like all the bus scenes, are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I particularly like Keegan-Michael Key. He was very funny to me.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's ever going to be
He's fantastic. He's really funny. Boyd Holbrook he was the villain in Logan, and he's in this movie as well as like the lead. And
that's what he was from.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he's a fine kind of generic like hero.
Reminded me of the guy from Suicide Squad.
Absolutely. This movie does feel a lot like Suicide Squad.
Like the main character in Suicide Squad is just like the average
that's actually
military
the best
blonde
movie.
guy.
That's the best movie to compare this to, I think, in my opinion, because I feel like this movie suffers very similar issues that the Suicide Squad movie did, because this movie is very clearly reshot and reshuffled and re-edited and just all kinds of crap, because it's like you can feel that like the studio interference maybe in this movie, or Shane Black's just like sudden, like, I don't want to say incompetence, but like it feels like he like kind of lost his way halfway through here, because like the opening is great. I love the way this movie starts is very cool, but as soon as the movie really picks up and gets going, it started to lose me, and it really very quickly. I thought the humor was out of place at times, and I thought like
sometimes it was
funny. It was funny. A lot of
the
jokes land, but I feel like this movie, it didn't have to be a laugh riot like it tried to be. The movie suffered as a result, because not everything has to have that MCU humor, and that's like I've heard a lot of people comparing it to that, and it's like it does feel like that. It feels like they're like, all right, like we're gonna try to do what successful movies have done and shove a lot of humor into this movie, and I don't think it works all the time.
This is a movie where like there's a space alien tearing people apart, and it should be more focused on that, I think, than like all the comedy, because it does feel like all movies are starting to become the same type of thing, where it's like sometimes you just don't need that humor in there. Like sometimes a scene would be better if you just didn't have that joke. I haven't seen the original Predator in a long time, but I mean, there's funny moments.
No,
obviously.
It comes from the camaraderie of the team, but with what comes here is there is camaraderie with the team, but it feels a lot like. At time, you have Keegan-Michael Key doing the Yo Mama jokes with the Tourette's guy, and that's funny. That's like some fun banter between the group. But then you have these very out of place, kind of inappropriate at times, like sex jokes, and it doesn't work all the time.
I think also like some of the sexual humor, because it's always at the expense of the main female lead.
Yeah,
and it's less. It would have been less of a problem if like what happened behind the scenes of the film.
That too.
Also kind of impacts the humor, because if you don't know, what is it? There was a cut scene that had one of Shane Black's, the director, his friend was going to cameo in one scene where he hits on the main actress.
Yep. And
it turns out he's apparently a registered sex offender and didn't tell anybody about that, and it just feels weird.
It's very disturbing. Very disturbing.
And then now once the jokes about her being unconscious and like all the big all the members of the team are all around her
in a hotel room, a motel room.
And it's like it's creepy. Feels weirder now. Weird. Like if without that context of that, it would have been better. But I mean I don't know what to say.
I think even without the sex offender behind the scenes stuff, I would have felt uncomfortable at moments. It doesn't go over the top about like over the line or anything, but. Like, when you get, like, us, like, you've seen the stuff that we make. Like, we don't really care much about politics, but, like, when it comes to, like, when what you're seeing on screen really kind of takes you out and is like, that's a little bit much. Like, you kind of feel like, it does
almost take you out of it.
It does.
But, I mean, like, in a way, I do kind of appreciate that there's a movie where they're just doing what they want to do and not adhering to whatever is going on at the time, because I believe in creative liberties and stuff, so that's why it doesn't bother me as much.
Mm-hmm.
But I do get what you're saying. So I touched upon it briefly earlier about the effects. Like, I'm a huge practical effects fan, meaning like everything, all the special effects are being filmed right on the set. So they'd make a costume and do stuff like that. And the Predator that's in most or about half of the movie.
This guy.
Yeah, the original Predator that's in a little, like, the first quarter or so of the movie is really fantastic. Like, it looks amazing. Yeah. Like, I want to rewatch the original Predator to see how well the two compare.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty well. I remember the Predator looking a lot like that in the original, and it was like very groundbreaking at that time, I'm sure. Yeah. And it comes across just as well here. However, then you have the big
giant
one.
CGI
and the dogs too, and it is very overly CGI. The movie is fantastic to look at. I think there's a lot of great visual effects here. None of them really took me out. Nothing
that made you go like, yeah,
like, that's terrible.
Like you sometimes get from, like, say, like Black Panther when they're both falling, and I'm just like, this looks like, PS2 graphics from 10 years ago. Thanks.
Yeah, but that's a good movie.
It is a good movie, yeah. So you overlook that.
Right,
but
exactly.
in here, it's like,
it looks good.
When the effects are what you're going to see this movie for, maybe you shouldn't make a 12-foot tall Predator.
No.
Like, maybe that's just not what you should go for.
Even when I saw the trailer, because that's in the trailer, I believe, and they give that away, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh dear. I was like, what is that? It feels to me like they were trying to do something new that we haven't seen with the Predator lore before, which I appreciate that. Yeah, but it's like, how much is too much?
Yeah, and when you really analyze that too, it's like, okay, so, I mean, this isn't really spoilers, it's in all of the marketing, it's that it's like a hybrid Predator, and they don't really do anything with that. He's just big and
there's nothing
tougher.
Different about him. Yeah,
he's
just like a big brute.
They should have been like, oh, so he's got, like, alien DNA from all across the galaxy. So he should have all sorts of weird, crazy, like, weapons and powers and stuff. Yeah. They don't really do anything with that. Like, so why was he tall? why does he need to be that big?
Shit, really.
It would have been much better if he just had weird, like, powers and stuff.
Yeah.
From, absorbing DNA from other alien races. And that would have been all the uniqueness that you could have had. And you could have had him be, a normal-sized Predator, and it would have looked better because they could have done that with practical effects.
But we touched on some technical aspects. The editing in this movie is atrocious. That's what, comparatively to Suicide Squad, it feels very chopped up, and it feels like, at times, and we'll get into this with spoilers, it seems like the reshoots were done, which is always what happens with reshoots, but it feels like the reshoots were done to kind of clean up various things that they forgot about. And there are blink and you miss it moments in this movie that are very important with the characters, and you're like, oh, what, did something just happen? And you don't know. I still don't. Like, what happened?
Yeah, it's rough. There's a couple shots where it's like, wait, what? Like, what's going on here? Like, I remember for the longest time in my life, I didn't really notice technical aspects of films like that. You just, shut your brain off and you watch it.
Yeah.
And I remember by the time, like, Suicide Squad came out, I remember just being, like, taken out of the movie when the weird editing choice would happen, and I'm like, what? And it's the same thing here, where you see some scenes where that just are really choppily edited together. Yeah. Really way too fast-paced for a scene. Makes things hard to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And when the whole point of your movie is a big fight with a giant monster,
you want to see everything going on.
It better look good.
Yeah, exactly.
And already the CGI I'm not entirely convinced with, and then the editing, because if it was edited well, I could be like, okay, it's fine. At least I see what's happening.
Right. I don't know what they did wrong here. And that scene that you were touching on with the park with the sex offender, it shows that was cut. It shows. It seems like the middle of a scene.
Because she was getting, like, hit on by this guy.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be, like, really disgusted by it. In the actual scene in the movie, it cuts to her face. First time you ever meet her in the movie, her face, she's like as if something bad just happened to her.
And it feels like the breathing moment of a scene, and then it transitions into this other moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, wow. Like, don't keep the scene in the movie, but, like, Shane Black, like, this is your buddy. Like, I get it. He's a sex offender. But it's like, can you tell your cast that before they shoot a scene with him involving her getting hit on by
the guy,
a sex offender? Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
Before we get into spoilers, what are your closing thoughts?
A few times I felt very like it was okay about a movie, and I think this is another one of those. It's an okay movie. I don't think it's really worth going out to the theater. I think if you see it on like Redbox, you'll be like, yeah, that was good. But it's like, it's so roughly edited and blink and you miss it scenes, and I think it was just overall kind of a mess, but it's a kind of enjoyable mess, I guess. How about you?
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. It's not really something that you really need to go to the theaters to see. I mean, I'd recommend going to see it if you like schlocky horror movies, and it's funny. So there are good merits to it.
If you're a fan of The Predator, I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I think you might enjoy it. If you're a real diehard of Predator, I'd say it's worth watching. Overall, you could probably just wait to go see it later.
For sure.
Yeah, get a group of friends and have a fun time watching.
Yeah, and just laugh. All right, spoilers. Here we go. If you have not yet seen The Predator, please click away, go check it out if you want to, or just get it spoiled if you don't care. Yeah. The opening, as we said, Boyd Holbrook's, I can't remember the character's name. I'm such a nightmare.
Oh, no, I don't remember any of the characters' names
in this movie. That's another problem. It's very forgettable as well. Yeah. It opens with his team getting killed by the Predator. Mm-hmm. And this is an awesome scene, I think. And then you have him...
my favorite part, real quick, is like the Predator crash lands, right? And then he escapes from his pod. And then the main character shows up and like grabs one of the gauntlets or whatever, puts it on. And then the Predator comes up and starts killing his buddies. And one of his buddies was killed before the scene started, and is like just like from the first movie where he's like hanging people from trees and shit. And like he ends up shooting like this blade weapon from the gauntlet, the main character, and it goes right through his like friend that's hanging in the tree, and it's just the most disgusting image of like this intestines and stuff starting to drip out, and it starts going right on the Predator who's invisible, and you can see the blood. Like that was a great scene.
Really cool. That's why I love the opening.
That's the opening of the movie is just horrific.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's great.
Disgusting.
You have this Predator on the run from other predators, and then we're still not sure why, and that's why the big Predator comes to hunt him, because whatever happened there. I believe the Predator was bringing something to help humanity, which we will touch on, because that is
a bad,
disastrous, I think, scene. That was the stupidest thing in this movie. The ending of this movie is awful, really awful, and you can tell because like it feels like they shot it an hour before we got there. Because you see Boyd Holbrook, like it looks like he's gained a bit of weight.
It doesn't look. Yeah, it looks weird.
Jacob Tremblay's character, the little kid, it looks like he kind of forgot what his character was because he's talking like a bit normally. And throughout the movie, he's like kind of got like a little quirk to him because he's got autism, got Asperger's, I think. In the scene, he's like not acting like he does, and then this stupid Predator killer costume is so overly CGI. It's the ugliest thing ever.
So they go to open up whatever the thing was that the Predator. The normal sized one had left for them, and I'm sitting there and it's like it's about the size of like something that a person could be in. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, boy, this could be really cool. Like, what if it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger is in there? And I was like, that could be really cool. Like, and then they say like, oh, it's the Predator killer. I'm like, oh, what are we gonna get? And then it opens up and it's like this weird like thing is in there, and there's like this black goo, and then suddenly I'm like, is this gonna be like a xenomorph egg?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Because it just reminded me of like Prometheus when they have like the thing in the black goo, and I'm like, oh my god, what if it's a xenomorph egg? Like this could be really cool. And then it's like, oh no, it's like this Iron Man armor, like War Machine looking thing.
It was so ugly too. It was ugly.
It was bad CGI.
Yeah, it was just a dumb design. Yeah, it was just not good.
And it looked like a toy that they were going to sell.
That's what they were probably trying to do here. They were like, all right, we got enough Predator toys. Like, well, fuck that guy. Let's make a Predator killer toy. And it's like, that's so dumb. It was so dumb.
It just, like, was that really the whole point of...
And you want to end your movie on a high note. If that was not a high note.
And, like, they're like, yeah, this is epic. And it even has, like, this one-liner or something.
Yeah, like, that's my new suit. And it's like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't...
One of my favorite lines of the movie, though?
What?
Ready? Is at the end when they kill the big Predator.
Oh.
What are you? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, what was that?
It was so stupid.
Oh no, but even better was you beautiful motherfucker.
You're one
Oh god, yeah, I cringed. Yeah, I think we both looked at each other like that was so stupid. But no, but as I said, the camaraderie between the teams. Like I love Trevante Rhodes in this movie. He's the guy smoking cigarettes all the time.
Oh yeah.
He's so good. He's like the best. He was in Moonlight. He's such a great actor, and he's very good here. I thought they really utilized him well. Theon Greyjoy has pretty much nothing to do here.
Oh yeah. He's the first one to die.
He's the first one to die. Yeah, the crew. Oh, but as we mentioned earlier, the blink and you miss it. There's Sterling K. Brown dies, I think.
So like he gets this. Like he's been hyped up this whole movie as like the main like human villain.
Yep.
And he's good. Like he's got some great
Sterling
lines.
K. Brown is fantastic.
Yeah, and so he gets this bit of like Predator technology.
The little turret thing.
Yeah, the turret thing that goes on the head or on his shoulder.
He puts it on his shoulder.
Yeah, and then at the end, for the big final battle, and then at the end, this is where the choppy, horrible editing comes in. They're fighting the giant Predator, and there's just a bunch of shooting and explosions, and then somebody like calls his name, and then he turns his head,
and then gets his head,
and then it turns with his head, and then it shoots himself in the head.
The worst,
and it's just that, like instantly, like
I think
and his body falls over, and then nobody acknowledges it for the rest of the movie.
Like you can clearly tell that everybody's getting picked off one by one. That's like they're adapting
that one scene, like everybody's dying.
Everybody's dying,
But like his death is just ridiculous.
It's very quick
because it's just awful. Like literally, if I went to like go take a sip of something, and
or if you sneezed, like you missed his death,
and you'd be like, wait, what happened to this character that they were like?
He was like a big part of this movie, and he's just gone like very quickly.
And like I get that he was kind of this like tough guy thing going on, and so he dies in this really stupid way. But why was it one frame? Why wasn't it like a scene? Like that could have been
clearly like
a joke that they could have made.
Everything down. They were editing everything.
Maybe they needed to carve out like 10 minutes of the movie or something to fit whatever runtime they wanted. And then the final fight when they're like it's like daytime.
Yeah.
And when they finally start killing the big predator, and that's the really weird, just other really fast shots that are really important to what's going on, because it's like the little kids inside the spaceship like turning on the force field, and it cuts off the predator's arm. Yeah, it's just these really super quick shots that like if I blinked, I'd been like, wait, what happened to his arm?
It's very chopped up. It's very chopped up. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Overall, enjoyable. It's fine. It's very unfortunate to me that we had another movie with a lot of potential that I was very much looking forward to, that kind of suffers from either studio interference or just incompetent like writing and directing, and really it's a shame because this movie should have been great. So that's all we have for The Predator. It's kind of a misfire. So what did you guys think? Comment down below, let us know. And what did you think of the first review from Mayhem Pictures? It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm excited to keep doing these. Our next review should be Venom?
Probably Venom. Or the PS4 Spider-Man, whichever comes first. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so don't expect these very frequently. We're gonna pick and choose what we want to review. We had a lot to say about this movie, so we decided to review it as the first. And yeah, we'll definitely review some of the bigger stuff, some of the more Oscar hyped up movies. Whatever we feel like talking about, we will review. Whether it's video games, TV, or movies. So if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe and check out our other content, such as short films and Bored and Unscripted. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuff for you guys coming in the next few months, so hope you enjoy.
Really excited to show you.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next time.